the setup, and the sun can be up and then the sun goes down and the track completely changes. And then of course, obviously with the rain delay, that really, really just threw a whole monkey wrench in the equation of tracks and setup and the cars and everything else in between. And then, of course, you got you guys battling 4 wide coming down the front stretch. Somebody's got to lift, but then again, you're not going to lift because you want to win the damn race.
yeah, pretty much. It was, like you said, it was 20,000 on the line. I don't think anybody was giving up at that point. I know Johnny V was trying really hard to get moving. He was trying to win that for his dad, so hats off to him. Travis, obviously, he's not scared to get after it either. I think Crump even got there, or Crump got there on the bottom. And, it was pretty interesting. Even for my seat, it was pretty interesting. I imagine the fans saw a good show. But I imagine 20,000 on the line, not too many people are going to give up trying to win that one with a few to go, for sure. And the track, as far as, like you said, very temperamental. Sun goes down, it changes. The rain, it didn't really change my car too much, so that's good, but it can for sure. The track is probably the most temperature-sensitive track I've ever been to. That and maybe IRP.
We are talking with the driver, that is Boris Jurkovic. I actually just got a text from Justin McCree, the modified winner of the Why Not Street Stock Nationals, and he says, Wesley, I've got a doctor's appointment with my son. I totally forgot about it, so I'm going to have to take a pass on being on finish line. We'll get Justin on another time. The show still goes on, though. Coming up, Eric Riggins Jr. and Tyler Carpenter, and a little bit more time with Boris Jurkovic as well to fill in that time spot. So, Boris, real quickly, I've known you back in my ASA days with the ASA Southeast Asphalt Tour, and that was pro late models. And then, in running past events that I've announced a couple of time or twos at the Easter Bunny and Supers and pro late models together at the Battle at Berlin. Is that pretty much maybe the only track in America where it could successfully be done with pros and supers and everybody on the equal chance of trying to win that race?
Yeah, I think if there's anywhere it could be done, it's Berlin. The track is so technical, right? There's not a lot of horsepower you can lay down there. It's very, very limited in traction. It's all about the momentum there. So if they're going to do it anywhere and pull it off, for sure it's going to be Berlin. I think they showed that last weekend. They put on a heck of a show, and CRA and Berlin Speedway there, they figured it out. You know what I mean? For that racetrack, it works. Anywhere else in the country, I would probably be pretty worried about it.
Absolutely. Boris, talk about how you got your racing career started, buddy.
Well, I mean, we raced bicycles, went to dirt bikes, street raced for a little while there, some drag stuff, and my brother-in-law at the time was racing stock cars.
Right.
I figured, hey, how hard can that be, right? So let's do this. And I went out there, and I remember sitting on the damn trailer after it was all said and done, thinking, what the heck did I get myself into? Yeah. What the heck I have to do? I mean, spun out my first night out, and took me a while to get going, and I just didn't quit. I tried. I just kept coming back for more, and finally started getting the hang of it, and here we are today.
Absolutely, and as they say, the rest is history. Is this Battle at Berlin 251 event your biggest win of your career? You think $20,000?
I don't know. I don't know what the All-American 400 paid, and we won that Winchester 400. I think it was about the same money.
Right.
But I would say all three of those probably tied for the biggest races, that we've ever won. And I think this one's probably the most special because I'm now 49 years old. I'm not a young kid anymore. So.
I got you. But I will say this. You mentioned the Winchester 400, and I'm going to be working that event with Speed 51. You mentioned the All-American 400, and I'm going to be working that event with Speed 51 in the booth with my great friend Jim Trado. I was talking with Claire Formosa about it last night, and she's excited. And it's amazing that we're 4 months away from these events, or 3 months away from these events, and there is such a buzz about the Winchester 400 and the All-American 400. I just love the vibe that there is such a thriving heartbeat back in pavement short track racing. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we need these events here to keep racing alive. I think there's like you said, I've heard a lot more about these races this year than I have in the past. So I think it's definitely, hopefully, moving in the right direction. I know the dirt guys got it figured out pretty good. I know they're doing a great job with their stuff. They've got a lot of people in the stands, and Berlin is really doing their job over there. Them guys are promoting the heck out of it, and they're doing great over there. And hopefully we can keep some positive momentum going here. And looking forward to even the Derby. I mean, I don't know that you have to advertise that one, right? Because everybody goes there anymore.
That's right. Of course, that's the big one. The humdinger, as they always say. My great colleague, a longtime announcer friend, Larry Long, always said that this is going to be a humdinger, Wesley, and that's a humdinger for sure. The one in December, I want to say it's December 3rd through the 8th, the 52nd running of the Snowball Derby, and I'll actually be a part of that one as well with the Speak 51 Network, and that will be in Pensacola, Florida, and you can check all those events out on speak51.com. I work as a colleague with them as well as MAV TV, Short Track America, and you could be able to see all of those events. Boris, again, you have a pretty flexible schedule. I mean, you don't try to make every race, but you try to make the big shows. Am I correct? You don't try to commit to like running for a championship on a tour anymore.
Right, pretty much. Yeah, everything's time sensitive to me. I'm busy at work and just don't have the help we used to have. So we're just, and truth be told, I wasn't even going any big races right last year because I did a couple, but struggled, a couple years there, and I got to know Cody pretty good, and he told me that if I bought one of their cars, that I wouldn't be disappointed. We'd get back in the winner's circle, and right out of the box we're fast. So I couldn't be more proud of that, maybe next year we'll do some more racing. I'm racing my nephew. I want to get him racing some tour stuff, and I'll probably run some more stuff at the same time. But it's hard to go when you're not competitive.
Where is a track that you've not raced at that you want to compete at and win?
Maybe the Oxford race I'd like to do. Out there in Maine, and I've never been there, never laid on eyes on the track, but from what I understand, it's a lot of competition, and it's supposed to be great racing. So that's probably one I'd like to try. Really?
So, the Oxford 250 is this weekend.
I know. I just got. Hey, you guys are talking to an old guy. I got stuff to do. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, right. I pay my own bills. If you guys want to pay the bills, I'm racing every weekend.
I heard that. Well, by the way, the Oxford 250 will be on Speak 51 pay-per-view this weekend as well. And Boris, I think that'd be a place you probably would do good at because it's unique. It's very the configuration of the track is unique in its own self, and I think it could remind you a lot of Berlin also, or Berlin as they say. They pick on me at the Speak 51 office because of my southern twang accent that I can't say Berlin correctly. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never even laid eyes on it, but I definitely would like to give it a shot. I know a couple guys that go pretty good up there, and I really should have put that together for this year, seeing as we're going pretty good, but I didn't. Time got away from me. But like I said, we'll run probably the All-American race, and we're going to run that Derby one more time, see if I can get after it down there. Now that we're competitive, I really want to get out there and do some more racing.
You've never won the Snowball Derby before, have you?
No, P7 I think is the best we finished. But it's one of those things. The Southern boys there they run pretty good down there. It's tough to beat them guys at that racetrack. But I think if I ever could do it before, it'll be today. It'll be this year.
What's the mindset of going down to an event like the Snowball Derby or even the All-American 400, the Winchester 400? Do those big events get to drivers' heads like, or is it just another regular weekly touring show?
Well, and that, I guess there's different – I've been on both sides of the fence as far as being fast and struggle. So when you're fast, you go in confident, and that really – boosts things up for you. You know what I mean? You're fast just right off the bat. When you're struggling, you're second guessing, and it's multiplied by 10 when you go to a place like that because there's so many good competitors. Every race car there is a championship car. So it's just tough. But when you're fast, I don't know that it affects you that bad.
Absolutely, definitely, and I guess at the end of the day, you just have to focus on what you're doing. Am I right?
Yeah, of course. You got to do your job and not worry about what other people are doing, what they're posting for times, especially at the Derby there, because the track is so it falls off worse than any other racetrack that I've been to. So, I mean, 5-lap tires are much different than new tires or 20-lap tires. So you just can't really pay attention to what everybody's doing. You have to pay attention to the balance of your own race car.
Definitely. A few more minutes with the driver. That is Boris Jurkovic. Scheduled rotation with the lineup because Justin McCree is not available. We will have Eric Riggins Jr. on next to talk about sprint cars, 360 Alcohol Wing Warriors, and, of course, his big win at Livonia, Georgia over the weekend with the USCS Outlaw Thunder Tour coming up. And also at the end of the day, we will have on Tyler Carpenter as we go into hour number 2 of Finish Line. Boris, what is your plans for the rest of the 2019 season, buddy?
Well, like I said, we'll probably run a couple more times up north here in Berlin and go down to the IRP race. From there, I think there's 2 races left and 1 race left, I think, leading up to the Derby. We'll run that one, then probably the 400, All-American 400, and then we'll go to the Snowball from there. And I might hit 1 or 2 between there if I can find something that fits my schedule. We'll see. We're going to play it by ear. I know we're going to try to do more than we anticipated just because of the performance that we've been, showing here as of late.
And I know in September you have been cordially invited as a entry for the Speed 51 Super Select. Could you be the man to take that $10,000 winner-take-all program? There is no pay for second on back. It's $10,000. It's going to be intense. It's going to be insane. What's your thoughts as a driver going into something like that?
Well, I mean, I've run good in the past there. I like the racetrack. It suits my style just fine. I know there's going to be a lot of competition there, but heck, I think that place owes me one. I run out of gas 2 laps to go one time leading there.
Oh, wow.
And that wasn't so fun, but we'll see. It's you're going to have some of the best race cars in the country there. If we can win there, I think we can pretty much do that anywhere. Pretty much the same thing as the Berlin. Berlin's been my toughest racetrack. That's why I choose to go back there all the time.
So my question is this. Would you wreck your car to win the $10,000 Super Select and miss making the big regular A-Main show to try to have the prestige and the honor of winning that show over everybody else? Would you do that?
Or I don't know if that's kind of I don't want to wreck anybody. I mean, if I have to drive it up the track and get into the fence to get by a guy,
right.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I got you.
I'm not gonna intentionally wreck a guy. I mean, that place there is really fast, and I'm not looking to do that. But I'll move a guy out of my way to get to the checkers when I have to.
I heard that. Well, I mean, Braden, he was all up on your back door in passenger driver's side. I mean, he ran you up the track, and he even said in an article on Speed 51 that he was purposely doing it. Do you fault him for that, or do you say, hey, man, it's every man for himself, so I had to do what I had to do to win?
Well, we all do what we have to do. It's how far you want to take it. And we race people like they race us, and they race people. They race people the same way, I imagine. And Travis did what he felt he had to do, and I did what I felt I had to do. There's no ill will there. When we put the helmets on, it might be a little different, but right. As of now, it's not a problem.
Absolutely, definitely. Well, Boris, buddy, it is always great having you on our shows whenever I can talk with you, seeing you at the racetrack. I know you just said you're going to be at the Winchester, the All-American 400, the Snowball Derby. Those are all events that I know that I'll be working with Speed 51 Network, and always appreciate the friendship that we had back during the ASA Southeast Asphalt Tour days. And that's another question I want to ask you, last one. Did super racing, pro late model racing, pros, cons, what's your thoughts of it, and which one do you like better?
Well, I like supers. I like the power. I like to be able to throttle the car, and pros there's a purpose for them, I think. Maybe some kids coming up, maybe don't have the car control that they might have, as they mature. So I think it's good to have both. I think it's good for the fans and good for the competition as well. So I think there's a place for both of them for sure.
So when you used to drive the Pro Late models, when I knew you on the ASA circuit, with racing with Preston Peltier and Jay Middleton and just so many other people I could think of, Tyler Millwood and Jeff Chiquette, and Jason Hogan, and you was the mindset,